What's up, everybody? This is Sal from My Darkest Days, and this is my interview for Kramer Guitars. First single, Casual Sex, is at radio, and we're almost finished the record. We're still working on it right now. We're getting really close, though. I think it's going to be really cool. This is it's a lot different than the last record. It's a lot heavier. It's going to be pretty badass. It's been pretty crazy. It was like non-stop. It was like living in a dream world almost. You just wake up in a different city, a different place every day, different atmosphere. It's a really weird way to live your life, but it was, yeah, we learned a lot, definitely. Like, I don't think we've ever played so much as a band. Any of us, just, you know, you're living with the same people, playing in front of a different audience, different stage every night. You really start to become a better musician. Because when you play just the local clubs in your own hometown, it's just like you get used to like the same stages, the same monitors, you know what to expect, but when you're on the road, it's just like every stage is different, everything sounds different, so you get really good at just being able to kind of be the best you can be in any situation. I just like really that it's just a solid made guitar, really. For me, that's what it comes down to. It stays in tune, and I get really good tones out of it. And for me, that's what a good guitar is. And they make a flying V, which is awesome for me, because I only really like to play flying Vs. So, I don't know, I just really like them. It's the very first time I put one in my hand, it just felt really good. I had like an old Kramer from like the 80s. When I was younger, and I just loved the neck and just the way they played just so easily. And with the new ones that they're making now, it's almost exactly the same. They still feel great. I'm trying to hook up with you know, rethink breast cancer, and just pretty much I had this idea of creating a pink Kramer Flying V that I can play live on tour. And at the end of the tour, get all the bands, Nickelback, Bush, Seether, to sign the guitar, and all the money, well, we'd auction the guitar, and all the money we'd make, we'd just give it to Rethink, and hopefully, you know, raise some money for breast cancer research. About 2 Halloweens ago, My Darkest Days, we opened up for Bret Michaels. It was just like a one-off show in Calgary, and after the show, him and his band kind of just came up to me real quick, and they're like, "Hey man, you're awesome." And I was like, "Oh, thanks a lot, I really appreciate it." And months go by, probably almost a year, and Motley Crue was on tour with Poison, and I happened to have 2 days off, and I came back to Toronto. I was hanging out at Steve's music store just buying some recording gear. Literally, I was in my pajamas, and I get a phone call, and I answer the phone, and it's Bret Michaels. He's like, "Hey man," he's like, "Are you in Toronto tonight?" And I'm like, yeah, I'm in Toronto. He's like, "Well, Motley Crue and Poison are playing tonight at the Molson Amphitheater, and I'd love if you just came down and played guitar." I'm like, "Yeah, sure, like, okay. Like, you mean like today? And he's like, "Yeah." He's like in 2 or 3 hours today. I'm like, "Okay." I'm thinking, man, I'm in my pajamas, like, I have all this equipment in my hand I'm about to buy. I'm like, do I even buy this now? Like, what do I do? I'm on the phone with Bret, and I'm like, "Okay, well, like, what songs, like, what do I have to learn? Like, give me something here. Like, are we doing a sound check?" And he's like, "No," he's like, "I'm not even in Toronto yet. I'm still in Buffalo. Just show up with your Flying V, and don't worry about it." He's like, "I'll plug you into one of our amps. No sound check, no nothing. Go on YouTube and just see how we play our encore live." And he's like, "I'm gonna bring you out." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I literally show up to the Molson Amphitheater with like my Flying V. I'm just standing there. And a guy in a van comes around, picks me up, takes me to Bret's bus, and he's like, here I am thinking, okay, maybe we're going to pull out acoustic guitars and practice. And he's like, "No, man, you got it. Just show up on stage after. I just wanted to say hi to you before the show." Literally brought me on stage. I played with like CeCe DeVille, the whole band. It was awesome. Tommy Lee was standing on the side, and some of the Motley Crue guys, and it was really cool because those are the bands I grew up listening to. Yeah. And then a few months later, Bret called me and his crew, and they're just like, "Hey, you know, we have a new record coming out, and you know, we wanted to feature you and Phil Collen of Def Leppard on the first single off my new record. It's going to be called Get Your Rock On." So he's like, "Do you want to play guitar on it with him?" And I was like, "Absolutely." So I recorded the guitars and sent them off, and that was pretty much that. Really cool. I used my Kramer. I literally just plugged my Kramer in, and it was the first time I had actually recorded guitars in Pro Tools, was for Bret Michaels, and because they needed it to be done in Pro Tools, and it was like kind of foreign to me. So it's kind of funny because I literally plugged in, I just recorded everything, and I just sent them this giant WAV file, and that was it, and it kind of just made the record. It was pretty cool.